Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I'm Eric. Of all the theme park attractions out there, few are quite as fun as shooting dark rides. From Toy Story Midway Mania at Disney Parks, to Men in Black Alien Attack at Universal Studios Florida, to Boo Blasters at Boo Hill, found at Cedar Fair Parks. These rides often contain fun sets or massive screens, an interactive ride system, and an enjoyable competitive spirit. The first shooting dark ride was El Paso at Bobbejaanland Land, opening in 1988. However, there were plans for an interactive dark ride years before this. In the 1980s, Six Flags was owned by Bally Manufacturing, and a team including creative Roger Hector made plans for a Ghostbusters shooting dark ride, which would have been the first of its kind. In this video, we will discuss what this ride could have been and why it never came to be. In 1984, the movie Ghostbusters was released to the public. It was a massive hit, earning nearly $300 million at the box office and becoming a favorite film amongst many. Every kid wanted to be able to fight ghosts with a proton pack and drive in the Ecto-1, so after the film became a success, amusement park chain Six Flags thought it would be a great idea to make a Ghostbusters ride. But they didn't want to simply rip off the Haunted Mansion by having an Omnimover travel through rooms full of ghosts. No, they wanted to create something new and innovative. A Six Flags executive went to Roger Hector, the co-founder of Sensei Technologies, which was an arcade game company owned by the same parent company as Six Flags. Hector was asked to create a dark ride where guests could shoot enemies and earn points by doing so, essentially combining one of his arcade games with the dark ride. Sensei Technologies planned, designed, and engineered the ride. The ride system would be designed by Swiss roller coaster manufacturer Intamin. Similar to how the now abundant Justice League Battle for Metropolis dark rides were, this ride was planned to be cloned at most if not all Six Flags parks at the time. The first would go to Six Flags Over Texas, the original Six Flags park, and the other 5 parks owned by the chain were slated to get their own versions soon afterward. So what was this dark ride going to be like? The ride would be an interesting combination of screen technology and practical targets, by having computer-generated displays combined with mirrors that would seal the illusion of the targets looking like real ghosts. When a target was hit, it would explode as if actually being shot. This was revolutionary in the mid-80s. For the ride vehicle, riders enter what is called a Ghostmobile, as seen in this concept art. It would have a pull-down lap bar, which the guns were attached to, and each car would seat 2 riders. The blasters were fairly large, and they had 2 handles each. They presumably had a digital scoreboard attached to them, based on the fact that there's no visible scoreboard in the front of the vehicle in the concept art. When in the vehicle, the story is that the Ghostbusters agency hired riders to exterminate all of the ghosts at the spirit-infested Hauntington Hotel. Hauntington Hotel would have been the name of the ride as well. Don Carson of Sensei Technologies created the story and the concept art for the ride, and he clearly had a very fun premise set up. The ride has a similar story to Boo Blasters, but this one would have come first. The vehicles would move along a track for 2.5 minutes, that's the total ride duration, making it somewhat short by today's dark ride standards. In these images, we see some of the sets. The first scene is a garden outside of the Hauntington Hotel. There is a hotel facade in the first room of the ride that the vehicles would enter through. The ride vehicles then go on into the lobby. They go to an elevator with a ghost that's saying going down. An endless hallway effect follows this. There would also be a fun upside down bedroom scene. There would be a ghost in one of the hotel beds. And there'd be a kitchen full of ghosts, with one eating that seems to resemble Slimer, but in a different color. And there would be a garden bridge where a person tells you not to leave yet. What the order of all these would be, I'm not sure. But these are just some concept art pieces that show individual scenes. And based on this art, it's unclear which ghosts would be physical and which ones would be mixes of screens, or if all of them are going to be the screen effect, or if all of them are going to be a Boo Blasters type ghost. The technology used for the guns would combine laser pointer type technology with an infrared emitter, very similar to modern Sally dark rides such as Lost Kingdom Adventure. The emitter would keep track of the points earned and display them on the car's scoreboards. At the very end, a gravestone would display both players' scores, being a sort of preemptive version of the now popular screen that shows half of your face in an image saying what your score is, so it's hard to tell who is what score. The fact that the ride supposedly was going to combine digital and physical targets is quite impressive, and I would have loved to see how the ride worked back then. The sets look quite fun of the concept art, assuming there were no budget issues, and the ride would have been short, but I think the combination of the brand new ride type, the popular Ghostbusters name, and the impressive sets suggests it would have been a massive hit. So why wasn't it built? In 1987, Bally's sold Six Flags to Westray Capital Corporation in a leveraged buyout. This was after Six Flags had received the entire detailed plans for the dark ride. Due to the change in leadership and ownership, and presumably some other factors including corporate interference from the new owners, budget restrictions, or licensing issues with Ghostbusters owner Columbia Pictures, the ride was more or less scrapped. The project was never built, and it's quite a shame. The ride would have been ahead of its time, and would certainly impress many dark ride fanatics and Ghostbusters fans. The popular Buzz Lightyear shooting rides at Disney parks would not be built until 2 decades after this was planned. There was a walkthrough shooting attraction at Six Flags Mexico that was about Ghostbusters, but that's pretty much the entire Ghostbusters fix we've seen at Six Flags. The most interesting recent development related to this ride is a Ghostbusters shooting dark ride at Motiongate, Dubai. The ride is known as Ghostbusters Battle for New York. It does have an impressive queue, but the ride has limited creativity in its physical sets, uses poorly integrated screens for the shooting, and had a trackless ride system for seemingly no reason other than that system being popular. The park brags about how this is the first ever Ghostbusters attraction, apart from this being somewhat untrue because of the aforementioned Six Flags Mexico walkthrough and an impressive Universal Studios stunt show as well. It is unfortunate that Roger Hector and Don Carson's brilliant idea for a revolutionary experience was not the first ride to represent Ghostbusters in amusement parks. And that is the Ghostbusters dark ride Hauntington Hotel. A very interesting idea, and it's a shame it never came to fruition. I like to imagine they would have gotten the original actors on board to lend their voices to a pre-show, but this is just kind of speculation at this point. And we will never truly know what this ride would have been. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below your thoughts on this dark ride, subscribe for more theme park content. I'll see you next time.